and welcome back. I'm not sure if you watched my other video about the birthday vase that I was talking about the scrap flowers and how we do not get rid of anything that is usable here. So this is kind of some of the same ingredients recipe as you will call it, but I also added in some other flowers. So we have our baker, our eucalyptus, Caspia, solidago, daisies, carnations, miniature carnations, Viking pomps, and the blue delphinium. So if you watched my other video that I created, it was called Birthday Vase, then go ahead and hashtag in there watched. That way I know that you've kind of started to watch my series. I'm trying really hard to get back into making the videos so that you guys can kind of watch along. So what I did is I picked a smiley mug, because who doesn't want a cute little smiley mug? And then with that we have our oasis. We started using the black oasis instead of the green. We found that it does hide a little bit better some of the products and the stems, and it's a good way of reducing some of that. And then again, I'm just taking my clear tape and running that around, because the last thing that you want to have happen is when you're delivering this, something to happen, it tips over, you accidentally drop it, something like that, and then all the flowers come out of it. So this way, it's like a little seat belt and it's not going anywhere. So again, I'm going to start with my baker fern first. And this is where all those little scraps from making vases really come in handy. So the way that I like to utilize my products is I try to do my vase arrangements first in the morning. That way, from doing the vase arrangements, I have my scraps to use for my baskets, my mugs, my cute vases, anything that requires this oasis, because usually the stems are a little shorter, or it's a good way to fill in the back of some of your one-sided arrangements. So we always keep those scraps, we don't throw them out. If they are a little tattered and tangled, then you just kind of cut them back, clip them back, get rid of the brown spots, and then you still have a very usable stem. So basically what I'm doing here is I am building my arrangement, kind of coming up with my height and my dimensions here. So this is going to set, when I put my flowers in, where I want to sliver them in. So essentially I'm turning it, adding the baker fern in, and then I'll turn it, add the baker fern in, turn it, because this looks cute all the way around instead of one-sided, especially if you're putting it on your counter in your kitchen or something like that. You really don't want to just see a flat back. So I'm adding this in, but again, you don't want to cover up the cute little smiley face either with it. So I usually keep that really short in the front, so then that way you can still see the detail on the mug. So I'm just adding in a couple more pieces here. And I think that's pretty good for my base. And then from here, this is called Gunny Eucalyptus, which is really nice. This is a variety that has become very popular in the bridal community. So chances are, if we've done your wedding recently, you've had Gunny Eucalyptus. And if we did do your wedding, why don't you pop in a hashtag that says wedding. Also, if you haven't sent me any pictures, I would love to see them. I do actually like to see some of the work that we've done. These little mugs are really cute too. If you have received any mugs, vase arrangements, anything like that from our shop, you can go out to Instagram, Facebook, any of those, and kind of tell us how you liked it. Google is a great one too. I get a lot of people that let me know that they read the reviews on Google, and that was part of the reason why they chose to work with my shop. So again, your feedback does really help. So if you ever have time and you've worked with us, it would be a great time to get out there and let other people know. So again, I have my gunny eucalyptus kind of framed in here, and I'll move it over here so that you can see it a little better as I'm working. And then the spiral eucalyptus is a little taller, so here I'm going to cut that, and then you do want to remove the stems there so that way you can poke that part into the oasis. And then I will stick that in there, just creating a little dimension, so that way it's not so flat to the container. And then again, you'll notice that I always pick off the little bit of end of the stem to really be able to stick that in there, because once you kind of make a hole in that oasis, you don't want to re-poke it in. That is what gives the flower arrangement the water. So if you do that, you're creating more gapping, which again, your flower arrangement might fall apart too, because that's what holds all those really heavy stems in. And then the Caspia, I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want it to go. Pretty much in this industry, there is standards and ways of doing things, but you do get that a little bit of design freedom too, which is really what I like about this job. So aesthetically, you want it to look nice to your viewers, your recipient of the flowers, people that are going to see it. But again, you do get to be a little creative, which is so much better than sitting behind my office desk that I used to work at, like a bank, and I worked at a college, and I worked at a lot of other places throughout my career. But working at the flower shop was my favorite, so I did want to get back to the industry. So after my little break and degrees later, I decided to come back and open up my own shop. So I can't believe next year it'll be 10 years already. So we are cruising along. Now I'm going to start adding in my flowers. As you can see, I'm going to start with some white daisies, kind of pop them in. And again, in the front, I like to keep it kind of away from the face, so that way you can actually see the detail of the mug. And then I'm going to take the carnations and pop those in. And kind of a rule of thumb is you want your flowers to be like 1.5 times the container. Sometimes if you're doing like a bubble bowl or something like that, it's a little different with those ratios, but typically with your containers, you want it to be 1.5. Otherwise it just kind of looks small and big, and that's not really a great design in my opinion. So again, I'm just kind of adding in the flowers, but I still want to make sure that I keep the smiley face the focal point so that everybody can see it, that will see this arrangement. I'm popping in the Vikings now. The Vikings again are one of my favorite little summer fall flowers. They're just so cute, and you get multiple ones on a stem. These are also great if you wanted to use them for like graduation centerpieces with like baby's breath, depending on your students' colors. Fall weddings, they're really cute for birthdays, any occasion. So here I'm adding in my miniature carnations, and I have my carnations in. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of the blue delphinium. I'm going to sliver these pieces in through there, and again making sure that I'm paying attention to the back side of the arrangement as well, because chances are this will be sitting on like a kitchen counter or something like that, so you want to make sure that you have some stuff in the back covering up your tape, and it's just pretty to look at when you have flowers all the way around. So we are big fans of all the way around arrangements here at the Blue Orchid. And again, I'm almost done. I'm just adding in a few final touches, piecing in the solidago. And then I'm going to have my little bit of the blue delphinium to add in, and then you can tell me what you think in the comments. You can put in hashtag Florist, the Blue Orchid. That should tie to us pretty easily. I do try to use that one a lot. And again, maybe share the video, help me try to get out to more people, because that's kind of what we need in these small businesses. So here we go, and my smile mug.